من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله. برادران اسلام، شہزادان دین متین، شمع رسالت کے پروانوں، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. All praise to Almighty Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, and master of the day of his actions, and we worship only Him. My salutations and my love to His beloved Prophet, the last Prophet, and the leaders of the Prophet and mercy for mankind, and my salute to His noble companions and His noble family, who in the beginning time of Islam devoted their life, sacrificed their life to attain the love of Allah and the love of the Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It is a great honor for me to have with you, especially on this Friday in Walsall, Masjid Hamza. And as earlier my respectable brother Master Sahib explained about my work, I'm really thankful to him. I'm not able of that task, but it is a great prayer and love of my grandfather and my father who guided me to help the humanity and to help the peoples living around the Mohra Sharif. Today, this month of mercy, month of reflections, month of forgiveness, and also we commemorating the last divine message which Allah has revealed to His beloved Prophet, Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Al-Quran, guidance for the humanity, and also guidance for those who believe on that great book, the last Al-Quran. And Allah mentions in the glorious Quran regarding to the living of the human being, regarding to the success, and regarding to approach the nearness of Almighty Allah. There are many different verses. This I want to quote one, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator, the Merciful, the Magnificent, explained regarding to attain His love. The beautiful words of the Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. It is an open message to all humanity. If you want to get the Allah's nearness, if you want to get success in your life, you have to adopt the way of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, and those who practice in their life after believing the oneness of Almighty Allah and worship to Him, if they practice according to the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there is no doubt at all they are successful. And Allah mentions also regarding to the real believers in the early chapter of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah explained about الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. These are the signs and valuable identification of the perfect believers, which Allah explained in the very first chapter of the last divine book, for the betterment of the humanity, for the success of the humanity and the believers. So for the very first, Allah explained about who are steadfast in their prayers. This is the first requirement. Keep your prayers regularly, who are steadfast in their prayers, and what Allah has given to him is spent on His way, and believe in all the previous divine books and all the prophets. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. So they are the successful. So it is very clear for the sign of, and also Allah explain in the next ruku regarding to the hypocrites. But I want to concentrate over here. And I'm also as Master Sarkar explained in his words regarding the blessing of this month of mercy. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba alal lazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. So the beautiful words regarding the virtue of this month. And Allah explained, O believers, at the Ramzan, like the fasting is also obligatory before you, and know you are the successful, you are the luckiest one, that Allah best wrote this month of blessing for you. And those who keep in fasting, those who practice according to the orders and the will of Allah and the sunnah of the beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Allah reward, you become purified. Tattakun means to purify. If you want to clean your internal words, your desires, so you practice which Allah best wrote to His Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the shape of the last divine message. So it is a beautiful verse, So if you want to become highly purified, if you want to become a successful, so you keep in fasting. And there are some requirement of the fasting. Just not to just keep away from eating. You just make, according to the sunnah, to make your fast, you just make your fast of your eyes, your tongue, your good deeds, your actions. At the end, when the time will come to break the fast, and you raised your hand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and begging to Him, so Allah will accept all your requirements. This is important. So I'm really feeling a great honor because I belong to a Sufi class, and the Sufi means to purify yourself and to love the humanity. And the which order of the Sufi I belong to, that is Naqshbandi order, and my grandfather Sayyidina Babaji Muhammad Qasim Morvi, the founder of the Mohra Sharif. He was a great scholar of his time, but he practiced the entire of his life in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the great love of the Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah mentions in the glorious Quran regarding to the zikr, Fazkuruni yazkurukum. It is a very beautiful verse. Allah says, when you remember me, I will remember you. So my grandfather, he practiced on these lines, the remembrance of Almighty Allah. And those who practice with the great concentrations and love, and with the respect of our beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they will attain the reality of the virtue of the zikr. SubhanAllah. So, and especially in this month, the month of forgiveness, the month of loving, the month of salvation, the month of reflections, those who practice and who recite zikr in the daytime, in the night time, when people are going to sleep, and those are successful who remember Allah, and with the kind recitation of the Quranic verses. So Allah will reward. And it is a hadith, And Allah says, and a beautiful hadith, as one of the great companion, Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, who spent many times in the kind company of the Prophet Muhammad. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah. And this hadith from Bukhari Sharif and Muslim, regarding to the loving and regarding to the respect of our beloved Prophet, who gave us the last message and last divine, it is our belief, the last in the cavalry of the prophethood, Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu is the last prophet. That is our belief. And it is mostly important obligations for the seekers of Islam. And this hadith, a man came to the Prophet Sallallahu and said, when the day of judgment will come, the Prophet Sallallahu replied, have you prepared for it? And he said, I do not have a lot of prayers and sacrifices and fasting, but I do love with Allah and His beloved Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet ﷺ replied, on the day of judgment, on the day of resurrections, you will be with those that you have loved. So it is very clear, if we have a great respect and love with our beloved Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ, so Allah will definitely reward you with this kindness, with this humbleness. So my brothers and sisters of Islam, so you are lucky that Allah has given you the opportunity and given you the strength, and try to keep in fasting and make in your mind to be very clear, this is a month of forgiveness, to love and affections to everybody. So Allah will definitely reward you. और इस कुरान अज़ीम में भी और अहादीस में देखिए कितना खूबसूरत एक मैसेज है मेरे नबी रहमत का. The verses of the Quran जो है ना, that the explanation of the hadith. कुरान अज़ीम की जो वर्सेस हैं, जितनी भी आयात, उनकी एक्सप्लेनेशन हजूर की हदीस से आती है. और हजूर आका मदनी ताजदार ने फरमा दिया कि यह इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल हदीस कि जो ईमान की हालत में, in the state of his belief,